Hello again. So let's just wrap up what we did since the first video. Here I will log out and refresh my page. Here I can see all the listings available in my database. In my case, I have just one listing. If I want to start hosting my home, I need to be authenticated. So test@gmail.com and for the password 123456. Once I click on continue, I can then start hosting my property. Okay, so once also I click on a listing, I will see the image and other information of this listing. Now let's start by the reservation dates. Basically, this is what we'll have in this part. We will define everything from scratch. I will not use an extra library like PrimeEng or another library. I will define everything from scratch. So let's open the listing reservation components. It's listing or reservation like this. Let's see what we have inside the templates. So for now, it's just a p tag. I will delete and create a div. And inside this div, I will define the first div. So here I will display the price of this listing. And this price I will receive is from the parent components. So this listing will accept an input signal called price, which is equal to inputs, and it's required of type number like this. Once I have this price, I can display the price inside this div. So using text interpolation, I can place the price here. Then I can copy and paste this text. Also add some class utilities. Here I'll apply a class of flex, maybe a gap 1.5 and paid in X of 6. Then paid in Y of 5. For the price, it will be text 2XL, fonts bold, and maybe the text neutral 900. Then I will apply some class utilities. It will be small and fonts light, also text neutral 500. Here I will also define some class utilities. I want the background to be white, so bg white rounded 2XL, and the border neutral, let's choose 200. Overflow hidden. And then to display a shadow, large. Okay. I can save my changes. If I return back, I will just refresh my page. Here, if I refresh my page, I still have a reservation date. So let's return to the listing components. It's basically here. So listing components. Here I'm specifying the reservation dates, but I need to specify or to import the reservation listing. So it will be like this. Here I have an error because it requires price. The price will be like this, is from listing. If I click, I have the available options. Here I will choose price, and I think I will need also to save this file. And here I can see my changes. Here I don't have the shadow, so let's return to the listing reservation. Okay, as you see here, I have two S's. If I, okay, then I will maybe apply a flex or items baseline. Okay, here also inside my listing, I will define this inside a dev, and here it will be on medium screens, apply call span 3. Then, okay, so now it's good. Let's go to the next part, which is this. So I will have this line. The class utility is just call or border neutral 200. Then I will have a div for this check-in and check-outs. So it will be a div. Inside here, I will have check-in. And here I will have just this arrow. Maybe I can copy it. And here I will have check-outs. If you see here, so once I select the start date, here the border of check-in changes, and once I select the end date, the border of the checkout changes, which means that the class utilities applied to each of these divs depends on the start dates and the end dates. For this reason, I will define a signal inside my listing reservation components, and this signal will just track if I started or if I selected the start dates or I selected the end dates. So it will be just selecting. It's a signal. Let's say it could take just start or end. Okay, here I need to specify the initial value to be starts. Then for this check-in, it will depends on the selecting. First, I will apply on the parents dev some class utilities. It will be flex, items center, and apply a gap of 2, paid in x 5, paid in y 3.5. Here for the check-in, I think I will have two things span for the text check-in and a span for this date. Let's put just 6 April for now. Here it will have some class utilities. The first thing is flex 1 border and rounded. Let's put 1xl, apply paid in x 3.5, paid in y 2.5. Okay, cursor defaults also. I think we don't need this the cursor pointer or cursor defaults. Then Based on the value of selecting signal, I will apply some class attributes. So class that's border neutral dash 800 equal to like this. So it is selecting equal starts. Which means that if the value of selecting is stars, I will apply this border neutral 800. And if it's not starts, which means end, I will apply another border. So I will just copy this one and paste it here. It will be end, and here apply 200. Then I will add also a background neutral. Instead of border, I will apply a background. It will be neutral value of 550. Then for the check-in, I will add some class utilities. It will be block and hard coding the size, 10 pixel, fonts bold, and also text neutral 400. Also, I add maybe uppercase and margin bottom 0.5. For this text, 6 April, I will add also some class utilities. The first one will be block, small text. For the font, it will be semi-bold and text neutral 800. I think I don't want this text to wrap into multiple lines, so I apply white no wrap like this. Here also I will add some class utilities. Just change text to neutral. The value is 300, text base, and also shrink value of 0. Then I can do the same thing for checkouts. So I will just copy this, paste it inside this one, and instead of check-in, I will put checkouts and maybe change for now the dates. And here, instead of selecting equal starts, I will put end. The same thing here, and here it will be starts. I think it's good for this part. Okay. Here I have an error. Basically, just save the file and the error will disappear. The next steps, let's define these parts. Here we start defining our calendar. So this is a button. It will return to the previous or the previous month, and this is another button to go to the next month. And here I'm displaying just the current month. So I will do like this. It will be a div of class padding x-4, padding bottom-4. And inside, the first thing is for month navigation. It will be a div. Let's define the classes. It will be flex items, and sorry, it's item center. Justify between. Apply padding x-1, margin bottom-3. Then inside I will have this button. So it will be button. Let's put the type to button and add some class utilities. For the content of this button, it will be an SVG. So just copy and paste this SVG from the code base, and then you can continue. The class will be width 8, 8, 8, flex, items, maybe center, justify center, and rounded full, text neutral 500. And once I hover on this button, I want to change the background to neutral 100. I think it's enough. I will also add an event binding. Once I click on this button, I want to execute a function. So it will be click. Let's name it prev month. Okay, for now, if I go to my listing reservation components, I will define this function like this. Just cancel log, and let's put the name previous month. Let's return back. Here is the first one. Then I will have a span for this text. For now, let's just make April. It will have some class utilities. It will be small and fonts bold. Then text neutral. Let's say 800. I think like this. And just copy this button, or maybe we'll add other things. So copy the value of the SVG here. By the way, you can use, for example, the ng icon library. So you have the choice. The first is using the SVG or searching inside the ng icons to define or to find an SVG for this button. Then for the classes, I think we'll have the same as the first one. Just copy and paste. Here, instead of previous month, I will go to the next month. So I will put next month. And inside this one, I will copy and paste. It will be next month. Next month. Like this. If I return back to my application, I hope I can see the results. Okay, so here once I hover, the color changes, also the same thing. Now let's define these parts, the days that are displayed here. So it will be just a grid. So display grid, and I will display 7 columns. So grid calls 7, and the margin bottom will be 1. Then I will apply a for loop. I will loop inside this array. So this is the values. Maybe I can copy this one, and then I can copy the others, Monday, and do the same thing. It will be Tuesday, like this. Saturday. maybe I can add track day because it's unique. And then for each day, I will render this div. The div will contain the value of day with this class utilities. I will center the text, then apply a text of 10 pixel, and font will be bold, text dash neutral, the value will be 400, and a padding Y, the value will be 1. I think I can see the results inside the app. So here I have the dates. Okay, it's good. Now the next step is to define these values. Okay, so now let's define this GRUD day. Basically, it will be a div of class GRUD, and for each line, I will have seven columns, and apply a gap y 0.5. This is the gap between each column. Then basically what I will do here, I will construct an array that will contain all the days in this month. And for the first values of array, the array will be null. So for example here, the month April starts from Wednesday. So I will put inside this array for these three days null. Then start from the fourth position. This depends on the current year and also the current month. So let's first define these signals. Here I will have the property today, because once I am inside the listing components, I will display the current day. So today is just an object, new date, and based on this date, I will extract the current year and also the current month. So it will be a signal equal to signal, and the value is this today. That's here. I think the current year, I will choose get full year. This will return me a number, which is the current year. I will do the same thing, but for current month, equal to signal, this that today, that maybe gets month, like this. Then based on these two values, I can calculate the calendar days array. So it will be calendar days. It's a computed. Just I will return so the first thing is I will need the year, which is this, that's current year, the value, and also the month is this, that's current month, like this. And I will get the number of week of the first day in this month. So how I will do that, just first const first day, it's equals to new date, and the value will be year, the month will be month, and here the first day in this month, and get dates, if I hover, it returns the day of the month. The day of the month. Then I will need the number of days in this month. I can do this like so. It will be days in month. I will construct an object, dates. The value of year is year or the current year, the value of the signal. Also, I will have month plus 1, which means the next month. But here I will not specify 1, but I will specify 0. And this 0 will returns me the number of the last day in the previous month. So here I need just to get this number like this. Then the return value will be dates, so or an array days, so it will be const days. For the type, it will be an array of dates or null, like this. And the first value is an empty array. Then I will loop through the first day and days in month to add values inside days. So let's e equal to 0. Here e should be less than first date or first day. Then in each loop I will add 1 to e. In each loop, I will push null as a value inside the days. Basically, this is what I will display, the number of nulls inside my array. Here, I will do the same thing for days in month. I will loop through days in month. Let's say d equal to 1. And d should be less than days in month. In each loop, I will add to d1. So it's d. And also in each loop, I will push the value or the dates to this days array. So days push. It will be new dates. Here I'm constructing the dates objects and then I can return the value of days like this. So the computed is dates or no. I think I can use this calendar days inside my templates. So here I will just loop through this one, or let's make dates of calendar dates or calendar days. Here I will put track to index. If I have a value or if the value of dates is null, I will just put a div, an empty div here. So if dates is equal to null, what I will do is just a div. I think here I have a problem. I need to add the decorator. And it will empty each 9. If not, here the else condition, what I will do, I will put a button. It will be of type button. I will display the number of dates in this month using the signal or dates gets date like this. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the others. And also I will apply some class utilities. Here it will be height 9, width full, text small, font medium, and also focus outline none. If I save my file and return back to my application, here I can see the number of days that I have in this month. But once I click, for example, on this one, nothing happens. So I think let's define the on previous method. I will return back to my components. Here previous method for now is just a console log, but what I need to do once I click on this one, I want to return back. First, I need to be sure, or I will test if I am in the current month is equal to 0, which means that I am in January. In this case, I will put the current month to 11, which is December, and I will update the current year to the previous year because I don't have -1 for the current month. So it will be this current month. I set the value to 11. And what I can do is set in the current year. Sorry, it's the current year. I will update the current year to the previous year. So I will use the current value of the year. For this reason, I will use updates instead of sets. So this is the current year, and I will just put -1. This is if I have the current month equal to 0. Else, I need just to put the value of the current month to -1. So current month maybe updates the value of month -1. Sorry, here I need else. And here like this. Now we can do the same thing for next month. Maybe I can copy and paste. Once I click on the button for next month, I will check if the current month is equal to 11. In this case, I will set the current month to 0 and update the current year to y plus 1. Otherwise, I will just update the current month to m plus 1. Now, if I click on this, as you see, I have the values changes inside my grid calendar. But this is still static. Let's change this right now. So to display April inside this grid template, if we return back to our template, here I have a static April 2026. I have here two options. The first one is to define a computed, and inside this computed, construct the object date, and based on this date, I can return this date. The other option is to use pipes in Angular. So this is what I will do right now. So here I will just choose the current, I think the current year plus this string. plus the current month plus 1, and here I need the value, plus I want day 1 of this month. So I will put like this, and then I will do dates to extract just the name of the month and also the year. So I will put month, then year. Okay, if I return here and import common module, okay, here it's March and it updates automatically. Okay. Now, once I click on a day on this calendar view, I have nothing. But what I want is, once I click on the start date, I want to construct an object that will contain the start date, which is, for example, 8, and the end date. And using this object, once I click on the reserve button, I will send this object with the start and end date to my parents. And my parents will use this object to make a request to my server. So first then, let's define this object. It will be date range equal to inputs, okay, of type dates range, like this, and the first value will be start dates null, and the second value is end dates null. Here what I will do is just define in my interface, export interface dates range, and starts dates is the first property of my interface. It will be of type dates or null. I will have the same thing, but here is end dates. Then inside my listing reservation components, I think I already defined the event. So here I will define an event or a click event. Once the button is clicked, execute this function, which is select dates, and I will put date as a parameter. I can define this inside my components. It will be just select dates. It accepts a date as a parameter. And here is what I will do. Here I will test if the value of selecting is starts, selecting equal to starts, or range. So here I need the value of the signal const. I think it will be range equal this, that's dates range, like this. And then I will check the value of start dates. Here I need just 3 ones. So if I have this condition, I will just update the value of this dates range signal. It will be this dates range, maybe sets the value to start dates like this. It will be, so if we return back to date range as we defined here, I will take start date and the value will be date, then end date will be null. But the problem here is that I cannot set or apply the method set on an input signal because this date range is an input signal. What I can do here, I will define an output, which is, let's say, date range change. It's equal output, and the value is date range. And here, once I have this condition, I will emit this event. So this date range change, it will emit this value. And also, I will set selecting to end. Otherwise, which means that I selected the first value and then I selected the checkout value. In this case, what I will do, I will have starts, because the objective here is to send start and end date to my parents. So end date, if the date that I received from my calendar is less than range that end or starts dates, because here I can, for example, select the first or the start date to be 16 and then select another one, which is 9. For this reason, I need to update start date to be 9 and end date to be 16. So if I have this less than range that start dates, what I will execute, sorry, here, if I have this condition, I will put dates range that starts dates. Otherwise, so here it will be date and starts date. Okay. Here I need end, and here I will put range that starts dates and here dates. I think I can delete this one. And I will need just to emit the start and end date to my parents. So this date range change that emits, and the start date will be start, then end date will be end. And also I need to update selecting to starts like this. Here I will see nothing inside my my template, because what I did is just emitting events to my parents. Okay, so now what I want to do, once I click on a day, I want to update the value of checking. So I will return back to my templates. Inside checking, here I have a static value. What I can do, I can use pipes the same thing that we did for here. Maybe I can copy this one, and inside checkouts I can define this, so it will be date, I think date range, end date, and here I will add day. So here I will add day. I can copy this line and paste it here. Instead of end date, I will put start date. Now, if I test, it will be a signal, and for the type, it's date range, and I think I can put the initial value to start date null and end date null, like this. Now I can use date range inside my listing components, and also I can define on date range change. Let's fix the name. It will be changed like this. I return back. So I can define the method here. It will accept a range of type date range, and then what I can do is to set the value of date range to range like this. Here, okay, so I will put the events. This is what I will receive from the child components or from the resting reservation components. I think now if I put 8, I have the value. If I put 9, I have the checkout value. Now if I put 10, this is the initial value. If I put 8, you see the 8 is the check-in and the 10 is the checkout value. Now what I will do, I will define some class utilities to each day. So the class utilities of each day depends on the position of this day in the range. Once I click on if 9 is the first value, it will have class utilities different from a day between the range or the end value. So for this reason, I think I will put here class. It's an attribute and it's equals to get day classes dates. Then inside my reservation components, I can define this method. So it will accept a date and returns a string. I will return the day classes based on the start and the end signals. Here I need to see if this date is the start of my selection or it's at the end of my selection or between the date range. So here I will put starts equal is starts, or this that is starts with dates like this, const end equal this that is end, it will be dates. Later I will define each of these methods, but for now let's continue. And also is range or in range equal this that is in range. Sorry, it will be is in range. Then I can define const starts only. It is equal to starts, which means that I specified just the start date. Here I will put this dates range in dates, which means that I didn't specify the value of int dates. So let's define the isStart method. So here I will have isStart. It will accept a date of type date and it will return a boolean. Here I will have the string or the start dates. This date range start dates, and I will need here to check if the start dates is the same thing as dates. Here maybe I can define a method is same, which will accept as first parameter a date, and the second parameter will be also a date. And here what I will return, I will check is this days have the same year and month and date. So I will just get full year equal get full year, and I need to test if they have the same month. Sorry, like this. The same thing for the dates, like this. So here I will return back to the isStarts and define this method. This is same. I will check if s and dates are the same. I can do the same thing for isAnd method. So here it will be isAnd method. It will be a date like this. Here I will specify int dates. So for the isInRange method, I can define it like this. It will accept as a parameter dates. I will try to move fast. So here I will get starts dates and end dates from the signal date range. Then I will test start dates and dates. This is basically to check if this date is between a start date and an end date. So here I will return nothing, or I will return false. Otherwise, I will check if dates is greater than starts dates, and dates is less than and dates, to check if this date is between the start dates and end dates. Here I can return back to check. Here I can return back to add my classes. Basically, if I specified the start dates and end dates for this dates, I will put this class utilities. So I will return, the background will be neutral, 900, text white, rounded full, and fonts bold. Then if I specify if the date is a start date, I will return, for example, if I specify just the start dates, this is the return. So it will be background neutral, 900, text white, and rounded full, fonts bold. Otherwise, if I specify also the end date, this is the background color. It will be neutral, 900, text white, and also rounded and fonts bold. Then if this is an end date, I will return this class utilities for the background. I think I can copy and paste. So for the end dates, it's background, text white. Here I will choose right. And for the font, it will be bold. Then I think I can copy and paste. If this date is in range, this value, I will apply a background of neutral text white, and or maybe I can specify 100. And for the text, it will be white, rounded air. Here, I don't want to put like so. I think I will choose this class utilities. Also, I will need to apply some class utilities if I am in the current day. So it will be this is same. The first one is this today. And also the second parameter will be dates. In this case, I will return fonts extra bold, and in their line, maybe once I hover, I want to apply a background neutral 100, rounded full, and text neutral 900. If none of these conditions matches, I will return text neutral. So it will be text neutral, and the value is 700. And once I hover, I will apply a background of neutral 100. Also, once I hover, I will apply rounded full. I think now I can use this method inside my templates. Sorry. So I return back to my template and I will just save to see the results. Okay, so the first one is that, as you see, for the date 31, it's underlined, which means that I applied this class utilities. And once I hover, I have this effect. If I choose, for example, 8, and then I will choose this one, I think I need to adjust. Here, I don't see the values between. So if I return back, I have here in range, instead of text white, I will apply maybe text neutral. And the value will be 800. Now if I save and try again, I think now it's good. So this is the same behavior as I have here. Okay. So the difference also, as you see, the first value, if I refresh in my current application, I have nothing, but here I have this symbol. So let's do this right now. So I will return back to my listing reservation. As you see here, I have date range that's start dates. So what I will do is just copy these parts. And if I have this value, I will apply this property. Otherwise, I will just render this one. Here I have a problem. Basically, I need to add parentheses like this, and it's good. If I refresh my page, I will see this. I will see that the first value is not empty. I can do the same thing for the checkouts. So I will just copy and paste. Here I will put start date. It will be end date. The same thing here. So if I refresh my page, as you can see, if I choose this title, it works as expected. Then I will add the reserve button. So the reserve button will be here. I will add a line, and the class will be border neutral 100. Here I will have a div. The paid in X is 5 and paid in Y is 4. I will define my button. For the class, I can apply this class utilities. Paid in Y 3.5, rounded XL, and text small, fonts bold. Also, I can add background neutral 900 and define the text to be white. Once I hover on this button, I will change the background to neutral 700. Once it's disabled, I want to change the opacity to, let's choose 30. And also, once it's disabled, the cursor should be not allowed. So not allowed. Here I will put reserve, and the type of this is a button. Also, I will add click events. Once I click on this button, I will emit an event. So here I will listen, or I will add an output, which is reserve equal to output. For the generic type, it's void, and like this. Then I can use this output inside my templates. So it will be reserve that emits, and maybe just like this. Also, I will add disabled, because I want to disable this button once I am making a request to my server. So here I will accept, or this component will have an input called disabled, which is an input of type boolean, and the first value will be false. Then I can use this signal inside the disabled. So I will make the button disabled if I receive a disabled value from the parent components, or if I have null in the start dates or the end dates. So I will do dates range the value int dates. The same thing for date range start dates. So I need just to save my file, and now it's good. For example, if I choose the values, I can click on the reserve button. Then I want to render the number of nights here in my calendar. So I will go here and define a condition. Basically, I will first define a computed called night count equal to, so it will be a computed. The render of this is a number. First thing, I will extract the values of start dates and end dates. So here I will put start dates, end dates equal this date range. And if I don't have start dates or end dates, I will return 0. So return or start dates or end dates. Here I will return 0. Otherwise, if I have the values of end dates and start dates, I will just return. Here I apply math, round, and end date that gets time. Here I will have the difference between end dates and start dates. As you see, the get time, it will return the store time value in milliseconds, and then I will subtract the end dates and start dates. After that, I will just divide to get the number of days like this. Then I will use this computed inside my template. Here I need just to test if I have the value of the computed is greater than 0. If it's the case, I will just render this div. So it will be flex items center and justify between, then paid in X 5, paid in bottom 5, text small. Inside this div, I will have span, which will contain the price. So it's like here, and here I will add the $sign with this text, for example, and the number of nights like this. I can add nights, and if nights count is greater than 1, I will test this condition. If it's true, I will add s. If it's not true, I will just put an empty string. Then I will add also a span in which I will put the total price. I think it's class. It will be font bold and text neutral. Value is 900. Here, I think I will just put price and multiply the price by night counts. If I save, sorry, so here it's not computed, but nights count. If I save, and then let me check. Okay, so here I choose 7 nights, and it's calculated the total price based on the number of nights and also the price of this listing. Then I want to store my reservation once I click on the reserve button. So I want to store this reservation in my database. For this reason, I will create a service for a reservation. I will open listing service components or service. Maybe I will copy paste this one, and here I will name it reservation that service that is file. So here I inject the HTTP clients, then the API prefix, create listing. So this is the method that I will trigger once I click on the method reserve. It will make a request to this API prefix, and here instead of listings I will have reservations. For the payload, it's not create listing payload, but create reservation payload. I will define this inside my models. So here, if I go to the models files here, so it's not here. So I have listing that's model.ts file. I will add reservation that's model.ts file. And then just copy and paste the models. The first one is an interface. It will have the listing ID, the start dates, end dates, and total price. Then I have a reservation interface and the reservation filters that I will use later in my projects. So here I can import this interface. Instead of listing, I'm expecting to receive reservation from my API. The same thing. So then for the get all, I think I will remove these filters, and the return is unobservable of type. Let's say what we can do. It's a reservation. I will return back to my model. Yeah, it will be reservation with listing. So here I can import the reservation with listing. I will make a request to my API. It will be inside a reservation, and I don't need to pass any params. So I will do like this. Here I'm expecting to receive a listing of a reservation with listing. For this it's okay. Then here get listing by ID. It will accept listing ID as a parameter and returns unobservable, and also reservation as we did here, reservation with listing. And it will make a request to reservation, or I think it will be listings like this, and modify listing with user with reservation with listing. Then for the delete method, it will accept reservation ID as a number and puts the reservation ID as a param in my URL. So I think now I can use these services inside my components. So I will close everything, then return to the listing components. I will also open the type or the templates. I will open the listing reservation components. So here, once I click on reserve, it will emit an event reserve, and I'm not listing to this event. So here I will put reserve on reserve. This is the method that I will execute to store my reservation inside the database. So just return to the component and define the onReserve method. Inside this method, I will check if I have a current user. So the first thing, if I have or if I don't have a current user, what I will do, just open the login model like this. So I need to inject the login model service. It will be provides maybe login model equal to inject login model service. And here I can use it inside the onReserve method on open. So if I click on the reserve button and I'm not logged in my application, I will display the login model. Here I think return. I have here an error. So I will put like this because this is not a signal. Then if I have a user, I will check the listing using listing resource that we defined. So listing resource, that's value. If I have a value or if I don't have a value, what I will do is just return. I will not make a request. If not, I will extract the start dates and end dates. So start dates, end dates. It will equal this date range. If I don't have start dates or end dates, I will return. Otherwise, so I will start making my request. So I think I will define here is loading. If it's not already, so I didn't define the is loading signal, I will define an is loading signal here. Is loading. It's a signal. I think I can put the first value false and use the is loading signal inside my onReserve. So now I will put the is loading signal to false or to true. Basically here, this is loading signal, I will use it inside my component to disable the reserve button because I'm taking or I'm making a request to my API. Then I will use also the reservation service that we created. So I will inject this as well. So provides reservation service equal inject reservation service. Sorry, it's reservation service. It's not like this. I think we have a problem. If we return back to reservation service, here I need to put reservation instead of listing. So it will be reservation service. If I save and return back to my components, I can import the reservation service. Then inside the onReserve, I can create this reservation. So this reservation service that creates, and it will accept as a parameter an object. If we return back, this create will accept this object. The first value is listing ID, and it will be listing that ID. So this is the ID that we will get. Then the start dates, end dates, and also the total price. is this that. So for the total price, I can't access the number of nights. Here I need, if I want the number of nights and also the price, I need to create a computed. I think what we can do is here inside the listing reservation components. Once I emit this event, I will pass the nights count or the price and night count like this. And here in listing reservation, once I have reserve, I will put number. Here inside the listing, I will add the events because here it's of type number. I will save. Then inside my listing components, just put here the total price and as name number. If we can also create here a computed called total price and calculate the total price again. But also we can do like this, total price. Then I need to subscribe to this observable. So it will be subscribe. If everything is okay, I will execute the next method. So here what I will do, just this that date range and set the value of start dates to null and also end dates to null as well. Later what we will do, we'll also load the reservations. But for now, let's just check that the reservation works. If there is an error, I will execute this function like this. So it will be console log error. And then I will always run this method after success. What I will do is just setting is loading to false like this. Okay, so now if I open create, as you see, I'm executing the API-reservations routes. So now the next step is to define this API-reservations inside my server. I will just open my server, close everything, and then I will open my routes, my reservations routes. So here instead of register, I will put like this and execute the controller create reservation. Also, I need to be authenticated if I want to create a reservation. So I will add here the middleware verify token and also add that JS extension. I will need also a delete method to delete a reservation. It will be like this. And I will specify the ID of the reservation. I need also to be authenticated if I want to delete the reservation, and the controller will be delete reservation. I define also another route to get all the reservations. Like this. So now what I will do, inside the controller, I will create another file called reservation. That's JS file, and inside I will define these controllers. So the first one is creates a reservation. It will be const request response, and here it will be an async function. What I will do, the first thing, I will receive the listing ID, also the start dates, end dates, and also the total price. So I will receive this from my body. Request that body. If I have a missing file, or a missing record, listing ID or start dates, end dates, or maybe total price. Here what I will do is just returning an error. Return res status. I think it will be 400. Here I have an error, so I need to add or the same thing here, and also add a message called error, with missing required fields. But if I have all these files, I will update the reservations and create a new record inside my database. So it will be listing and reservation equal, it will be innovate Prisma. Here I will add index-js file, and here I will update the reservations, but I need to be sure that this reservation is associated with a listing. So I will add listing updates here where ID listing ID. So I can copy and paste. Then the data what I will insert inside my reservation table, it will be like this. So here create, and the user ID, it will be from my request user ID. Then for the start dates, it will be, so I will construct an object using the start dates from the request body. Maybe here I can copy and paste, and instead of start dates, I will put end dates like this. Also, I will add the total price. Here, if everything is okay, what I will do is just returning, or maybe, yeah, we can also return res status 201 JSON, and let's say, so the first objects will be the listing ID. So here I will just copy the ID and put ID. I think I will return also the user ID. I need also to return the listing ID and also the start dates. Sorry, it will be start date and end date, total price as well. Like this. Here I will define the delete reservation. But first I can import the create reservation. Now let's define the delete reservation. So it will be export const delete reservation equal an async function requests response. Okay, so here I will need the ID from my URL. So it will be request that's params, or yeah, so it will be requests params like this. Then I will find the reservation using this ID. It const reservation. So it will be reservation equal awaits Prisma reservation find unique, and here I will add the condition where based on the ID. Here the ID will be a string, so I will need to add parse int to transform it to an integer. Then what I will do, I need to include also the listing to test later if I am the host or the guest. Okay, so it will be listing true like this. Then if I don't find this reservation, I will just return res status. It will be 404 JSON. Here I think I will return and put or reservation not found. Then I will test if I am the guest or if I am the host like this. I can test if I am the guest. I will choose the reservation and choose the user ID and test it with the request user that's ID. For the host, I can test it with this. So it will be reservation. So this one, listing, that's user ID. I will test it with the request that's user ID. Then I will test is host or is guest and return just res status 403 JSON and puts error to be unauthorized like this. So here if I am, for example, the guest, this will be true, and the opposite of true is false. So I will not execute this condition, I will continue. But if I'm not the guest, I'm not the host, both of these variables will be false. So the opposite is true and true, I will return this error. If not, I will just delete this reservation. So it will be Prisma, that's reservation that deletes. And here, I think I will just add the condition, which is ID, and parse int will be ID. So it's just like this. Once everything is okay, I will return the res status, and the value is 200 JSON, and put deleted as true, like this. If I return back, before I need also to add inside my index.js file, it will be reservations. So here it will be reservation routes, and I need to import it at the top of my file. So it's the same thing, just here I will put reservation.cs file and copy paste this one here, like this. I think here I have an error. Okay, so I will just go and open this file and import the delete reservation. Also here I have an error. I need to define my get reservation controller. So let's do it right now. It will be const or export const get. Let's copy what we need here. Basically, when I will execute this, I want to get all the reservations. So it makes sense to put s at the end of this controller. So here, get reservations, it's an async method, and request response, like this. So I can get my reservations based on the listing ID or the user ID or the author ID, and this will be from my query. I will define the conditions inside this object. If I have listing ID, I will just put where that. So here I'm trying to construct the conditions. Listing, I think listing ID, I can copy and paste, equal to parse int, here puts listing ID. Then I will just copy and paste 3 times. For user ID, it will be like this. For the author ID, I will just copy and paste. Then what I can do is to find these reservations. So it will be reservations equal to awaits Prisma, that's reservation find many. And here I will put the conditions, and also I want to include the listings because I will return the listing also in my query. I can also order by, it will be created at, I want to order like this. Then I think I can return my reservations. So it will be status 200, and let's put JSON, here reservations. Then I will just import it inside my routes like this and return back to my client to use these methods. So here I will just refresh my page, open my inspect inside my console or my network. I will test. So here, if I maybe what I can do also is to log out and then log in. Okay. So here, if I choose this ranges and click on reserve, I have here an error. If I return back to my server, okay, so here I added a console log request that's user, and what I found is user ID. So here, instead of ID, I will put user ID. So like this, user ID. Okay, I will research also request that user. Here, I need to put user ID. The same thing for here, user ID. Like this. So now if I return back, I will delete everything. Okay, so I have the creation of my reservation. Okay, so here, for example, if I test, I will reserve from 9 to 16. This is the first reservation. It works. And now I will try again to reserve from 9 to 16. As you see, the post request is created, but I don't want this behavior. So for this reason, what I will do, I will just put or this component will accept an input called disabled dates, and based on this disabled dates, I will disable this the dates. So let's do it right now. The first thing what I will need is to open listen that component. Here I will fetch from my database all the listings. So it will be a resource called reservation or reservations resource equal to resource, and let's put the value params. It depends on the ID of this reservation. So ID, then I will map through this dates. So for each reservation, I will execute this dates equal to an empty array. It's of type array of dates. Then what I can do is a loop. I will loop through. So the start of my loop will be the start dates. So new date reservation starts date. So here I have a problem. Okay, so here I have a problem. Property map does not exist on type. Okay, if I return back to the get list and reservation, here basically I'm expecting to receive an array and not this object. So here also I need to add this array, and it's good. So start dates, and then the end of my loop will be the new objects, new dates, and it will be end dates. And on each loop, I will update the date to the next one. So it will be the get date plus 1. In each loop, what I will do is just for dates, I will push the new dates of t. So here it will be dates. This is what I defined here. Okay, so here I need to do like this. I think now I will return dates. Okay, so here instead of map, I will use flat map. Then I will use this disabled dates inside my templates. I think I can do like this, so it will be disabled or disabled dates equal to disabled dates. And here I will define an input for this app listing reservation. So reservation, here I can add this input. It's called, maybe I can copy and paste, disabled reservation. It is an input. And what I'm expecting to receive is a list of dates. And maybe I can put the first value to an empty array. Just I will copy, I will save. Okay, so then for each date, what I will put here inside the list of my dates. So it's here. I will add an attribute disabled equal is disabled. Basically, I need to ensure that if this date is disabled or not. So I will define this function. It will be here. It will accept a date, and the return is a boolean. First, I need to be sure that this day is in the future and not in the past. So it will be just like this, new date. And maybe, so I will just compare between these two dates, between date and today. Sorry, it's today. So if date is less than today, I will return true, which means that I want to disable this button. Otherwise, what I will return is to see if inside the disabled dates I have some and puts is same day. It will be is same, and I will test D and also the dates. Now if I return back to the result and I refresh my page, Maybe I need also to save my template. Okay, I will refresh. Inside the classes, I will add is disabled based on the date. I will return text neutral. The value is 300. Line through and cursor not allowed. If I save, okay, so here I can't select this dates because they are already reserved. Also in the select date, so it will be here. I need to be sure that this date is not disabled. So is disabled dates, and if it's true, I will just return like this. Now if I reserve, I click on reserve, it's good, but I need to update these values. So for this, just go to the listing components. I will open the listing components, and inside the onReserve method, here I will reload, which means that I will make another request to my server to fetch the reservations again. So it will be this that reservation service, or I will take the reservation resource and reload my resource. If I try again, so I will put this. Okay, now it's good. I think we have done with the reservation calendar. Then the next step is to define my reservations. So this routes. It will be very simple. I will close everything and open the reservation. Also the reservation components. Here I will define some. The first thing, I will inject the auth service equal to injects. So it will be injects, and I will inject the auth service. Then I will need also the reservation service. It's equal to inject reservation service. I will have a deleting ID. So it will be a signal and string or null. Here the first value will be null, and I need also the current user, which is equal to this auth user or service load session, and there I will fetch the reservations. So it's reservation resource equal to resource, and this object I will directly define a loader function. It will be an async function. Here I will just test if I have a user ID. If I don't have a user, I will return an empty list or an empty array. Otherwise, I will make a request to fetch the reservations. So first value from, to transform the observable to a promise. This reservation or this reservation service gets all, and here I will specify the author ID, which is this current user, that's ID. Okay. So also I will define a non-delete function to delete a reservation. So it will accept a reservation ID of type string, and it's a void method. What I will do here is that I will put this deleting ID to reservation ID. Then basically it's just deleting this reservation. So I will call my service reservation service, and with the delete method, and specify the reservation ID as the parameter. I think here I have an error. Okay, so I will just open the delete and make this as a string like this. I can return back, and then once I delete this reservation, I will execute this function. It will be this reservation resource. Basically, I will reload my reservations to fetch them from my database. Here, if everything is okay, I will put is or deleting ID to null like this. Then I can use these methods inside my template. It will be a div, and first it will be a class container, and padding top the value of 8028. Here I will need the app hidden to define my hidden. I think I will put the title as reservations, and for the subtitle it will be see all upcoming and past reservations for your property like this. Then I will just use my resource. So here I'll have a condition. If reservation resource is loading, what I will do is just add div in which I will have a class flex justify center and padding y of 20. Here I will render my loader like this. So if I have no value, so if maybe we can go to the home components and then copy this here, but instead of listing resource, I will put reservation resource. The same thing here. Here I will not add a button, but no listings found, no reservations found. And for the subtitle, I will just put you don't have any reservation yet. Okay, and if everything is okay, I think I will loop through the reservations. Here it will be reservation resource and track based on the ID. Here I will import the listing card. It will have reservation listing like this, and also I will first save and see what's the results. So here, once I refresh my page, I can see all the reservations that I have in my properties. Here, I will add a button to cancel any reservation. So what I will do, just open I think I will open the listing card components, and here I will add a condition. So if action label, I will render a button. It will be of type button, and maybe for now I will put the label to action label. So it will be action label. Let's put the first one as like this. And once I click on this button, I want to execute this function, handle click. Okay, so here I will open the listing card components and define these inputs. I will have action label equal. Okay, so it will be an input of type string, and the first value will be an empty string. Also, I define an input on action equal outputs like this, and I will define the handle click function. Basically it will accept, or basically it will just emits an action on action emits like this. So I think for action label, okay, then inside my reservation components I can pass this action label. It will be, or action label cancel reservation. Okay, so I have this button. Now what I need to do, first let's delete this div. Okay, now what I need to do is to listen to this action inside my reservation components. So here it will be on action. I will execute the onDelete method. It accepts the reservation, that's ID. Okay, so now let's test. Once I click on cancel reservation, what I have. Just open the inspect, and inside I will click on cancel reservation. I don't have this reservation. I will just try again. If I cancel a reservation, as you see, it's good. Now the next step is to fetch my trips. So I will just open trips components, and then I think I will do the same thing. Just I will copy everything and make it inside my trips. The same thing for the TypeScript file. Here I will copy, or maybe just the methods and the properties, and paste inside the trips components. So here I will inject the auth service. Then I think I will need also the reservation service. Here signal, I will need the current user, and instead of reservation resource, what I will put, I think I will make trips resource. It will be a resource. Here I will import first value from. Here I will get all of the reservations, but instead of author ID, I will put user ID. For the onDelete method, I think what I will need to do is just, instead of reservation resource, put trips resource. Here in the trips components or the trips template, I need to import the heading. Instead of reservation, I will put, so for the trips, it will be trips like this. So here I will put trips resource like this. Sorry. Here I will import the listing card. And I think I can just save my changes also for the TypeScript file. Okay. Also, I need to put cancel guest, or cancel guest reservation. Okay, so here I will put trips, and instead of this I will put see all your upcoming and past trips like this. So here what I will do, I will go to a listing. Let's see this one, for example, and I will add a reservation. Okay, if I go to my trips, I have these two reservations, and I can also cancel any reservation. Now it works. I think the next step now is to develop the my properties section. So first I will close everything. Then as you see, once I click on my properties, I don't have the change of the rows. I will see if there is any error inside my console. Okay, maybe there is an error, so I will open my routes. Okay, yeah, I don't have the reserve or the properties route, so I will need just to add properties here. I don't know if I have the properties components, so yeah, I already have the properties components. I will just put properties components like this. Then once I click on my properties, as you see here, I have my properties. Let's first open properties components. The same thing for the templates. So basically it will be just copy and paste. So what I will do right now is just, I think I will copy from trips components. Let's open also the template. I will copy the template inside the properties component template, also the TypeScript file, copy it inside this TypeScript file, or just the properties and the methods. Okay, so here I will need the auth service. So let's inject this auth service. For the reservation service, I think I will need the listing service. Basically, what I'm trying to do here is to list all my properties, those who I add from start hosting. Okay, so I think here I will put listing service. For the deleting ID, yeah, let's put it as a signal. Here I will have listing resource. It's a resource. Let's import first value from here. I will use listing service and also get all with the current user. And once I delete, I want to execute this method. I think I don't have a delete on this. Sorry, it's not listing resource, but listing service. I will put, so here what I have. Okay, so here I think first I will have the listing ID and copy paste the listing ID here. We'll return back to this error later. So I will put listing ID, and once everything is okay, I want to reload this resource. Now, if I go to the properties, I need to import the heading. And instead of trips, I think I need listing resource like this, like this. As you see, it's just copy and paste once everything is okay. Here, instead of reservation, I will put listing, and listing will be like this. For the data, I will put maybe, let's say, so listing, just listing. And on the leads here, I will have listing. I think I have the ID like this, but type number is not assignable to arguments of type string. For this, let's put just here number like this. For the deleting ID, I will put number or null. Okay. So here for the heading, instead of trips, I will put properties. And for the subtitle, I will put C and manage all your properties. Okay. Also, I can put here no listing found. And for the subtitle, maybe let's for starts by listing your first property. Here I will put remove property. Like this. So as you see, I have here the list of all properties. And if I add any property, it will be added inside the properties. If I remove any property, it will be removed. Okay, so now let's wrap up what we did right now. Here, if I refresh my page, I can access all the available, all the listings. I will add a listing. Okay, so like this. I will put this one next. So test title, description, test description. If I put next, I will choose the price. Once it's created, I have the listing inside my homepage. If I visit my properties, I have these two properties with the one that I added right now. For the reservations, I have also the reservations for my trips. If I reserve, for example, something, it will appear inside my reservation or my trips. Okay, so I think now everything is good. But here, once I click on host my home, I have nothing. So let's first fix this problem. I will close everything. And for host my home, it's inside the user menu component. Okay, so here I have nothing. Basically, what I need to open the login, or I need to open the start hosting model. So what I need to do, I will just, okay, handle open rent model. I think this is the function. Okay, what I need to do here is just rent model and on open, and for is open set to false, like this. So if I click on host my home, I have this model. Okay, so let's also fix this close. I will add here an icon. I will close everything and open, sorry, I will open, it will be inside the model components. So here I will need to add ng icon, like this, and also add view providers. It will be provide icons, like this. And what I want is hero X mark. Then I can use this icon inside my templates. So I have here close. Instead of close, I will put ng, like this icon. And the name will be hero X marks. So for the size, it will be 18. If I test host my home, I have this icon. Also, let's change the icon inside the user menu. So I will just open the user menu. Maybe you can copy this for the user menu components. So I will put this one, import ng icon, provide icons, and instead of hero xmax, I will maybe use hero bars. I think I can use hero bars. Let's put 2 mini. I don't know if we have 3 mini also. So I think I will use 3 mini like this. Then I can use it inside my templates. So instead of close or icon, I will put the ing icon. Okay, so now it's good. Also, I have here for the search. So let's also fix this. I will close everything and go to search components. Maybe I will first import the ing icon and here view providers. It will be an array of provide like this, provide icons, and the icon that I will use is hero micro like this, and I will delete this one. Then I can use it inside my my templates. So just copy this one, and instead of icon, I will put ing icon. For the name, it will be like this. For the size, I think I will just put 18 like this. Okay, if I specify padding 3, okay, no, it's good. I think for my application, everything is good. Once I log out, log in, I will create an account. Okay. Maybe what I will do also, here I want to change the font. So go just to the style file, and then for the theme, what I want to do is define the font Unito like this, and the value will be Unito like this. So then I will apply this to my body. I think it's just font family and var, and apply this variable. I don't want something like that. Okay, so let's go to the index.html file, and here I want to import Google Fonts. Okay, now it's good. I think everything is okay. I can log in, tests at gmail.com, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once I click on continue, I'm logged in. Okay, so now I will try to, for this remove filters, I will try to add some class utilities to this button. What I will do is just copy remove filters to search when the remove filters is defined. Here I will add some class utilities. It will be once it's dizzy, or let's say so it will be rounded, maybe large, and once I hover I want to apply an opacity of 80 and the width I want full. Also I want a background rows 500 and also border rows 500, text white. What I can do, maybe I will apply padding y of 3 and text medium, font semi bold, and apply a border of 2. Yeah, like this. So once I click on remove filters, I have nothing in my components. So I think everything is okay. Okay. So my reservation, my properties, everything is good. If I click on remove property, it will remove my property. I think what's still in our application is just using Redis. Because here, okay, what I need also to do, I will add guards to my application. Let's say that I'm not inside, I don't have an account, okay? But I don't need to go to trips. Here, no reservations found. Also, I can visit, let's say, trips, also reservations. I have no reservations found. I don't want this behavior. For this, I will use guards. So like this. So I will define a guard inside my app folder. Just add a file called maybe auth guard. That's this file. Yeah, it's like this. It will be exports auth guard and can activate. Okay, so it is can activate fn. So let's import it manually, I think. Equal routes states. Here I will just put const auth service because I need the auth service. So I will inject the auth service like this. So it will be auth service. And also I need to inject router equal to inject router for the user. It is from auth service load session like this. So I will test if I don't have a user, which means that I'm not authenticated. What I will do is that router, or maybe it's not a class, so return router that's I think navigates by URL, and I will go to the main page. But if I have a user, I will just return true. Okay, so here I need const then I can also use this auth guard inside my routes. So the first thing, I want to protect the reservation routes. So here I will do can activate execute this auth guard. The same thing for trips. Also, I want to protect this route, and for properties like this. So if I test again, now I'm inside the main page, I'm not logged in. I will try to go to trips. Okay, as you see, I'm redirected automatically to the main page because I don't have an account. But if I create an account at gmail.com 1234556, now I'm logged in and I try to visit trips. Now it's possible. I'm not redirected to the main page. I think we did everything. What I still have to do is just the parts of Redis. Okay, so now let's see how we can use the cache in our project. And I will give just one example, and then you can extend it to other parts in the application. So here, if I visit a listing, what happens behind the scene is that I'm making a request to my server to fetch data about this listing based on the ID. And as you see, this information doesn't change frequently. And if there are a lot of users that use my application, I will make a lot of requests to my database server. This is not good. So it makes sense to put this data inside the cache and make an expiration date. And once I make a request to my server, I will test if the data already exists inside the cache. If not, I will fetch the data from my database and then put the data inside the cache. And once a user later wants to fetch the data, the server will return the data from the cache. Okay, so everything that we will do is inside the server. Here I'm inside index.js file. In the package.json, I already installed Redis, so I can start using Redis in my index.js file. The first thing, I will import the create client from Redis. And then once I'm connected to my database, I can also create a connection with my Redis. But for this, I will need a Redis database. Just go to Redis Cloud Console and create an account. Then you will have a database and connect to database. Copy paste this one. Inside that env, I will put Redis URL and the value is this one. Then inside my index.js file, I can start the connection with my Redis database. Basically, it will be export const Redis equal create client. And here I will use the URL from my env variable. So it will be process that's env that's Redis. Let's copy and paste like this. Once I am connected, I want to execute this function. Basically, it will be just a console log, and let's put Redis connected. And if there is an error, I will put Redis error, and here I will put the error, so like this. Here I have an error. Okay, so here I have invalid URL. I will return to my .env file. I need to delete these parts. Now if I try again, and okay, so here I think I need to put await Redis to connect. I need to await connecting Redis. Okay, so Redis is now connected. I will add some methods that I will use in my code. It will be inside utils. Here I can put just Redis.js file. The first method will be gets or sets. So async gets or sets. Sorry, so the first parameter is the key. The second one is TTL, which is the expiration date or time. And here I will have a loader const cached. Here, based on this key, I will see if I have a data in my database. So it will be Redis that gets key. If I have this cache, what I will do, first thing I can, for example, cancel log, maybe then I will return the data cached from my server like this. Here I have an error. I need to delete this one. This is a function. Otherwise, if the data is not present in the cache, I will cancel log cache miss, and I will execute this loader function. Basically, this is the function that I use to extract data from the database. So it will be fresh equal to await loader. It's a function. Then if I have fresh, which means data from my database, what I will do, the first thing is to set or to store this data in my database or in my cache. It's await Redis set, and the key will be key. Here TTL will determine the expiration date, and the data that I want to put is stringify fresh. Basically, it's the data that I received from my server. Then I will return fresh like this. And if I want to delete data from Redis, I need just to execute this method, export async function. The name of the function will be bust. I need the key of the data and just await Redis. I think here I need to import Redis. Yeah, it's from index, that's JS file. Redis, it will be delete based on this key, and maybe we can console log some information to see how it's done. Then I can also add another method function Basically here is to create the key. I will do listing key, and I will just have an ID and return listing with the v1, and here I will put the ID. It's just the identifier of this data. Then I can use these functions inside my routes. So as we said, we will just see for the git listing by ID, this one. So here what we did, here I have the params, and then I'm making the request. But using the cache, before making the request, what I will do, I will test if this data is already present in my cache. So it will be an await request, gets or sets, and the first one or the first parameter will be listing. Here I will use this method, listing key. I construct the key based on the listing ID. Then it puts the time expiration like this. It will be in seconds, 300 seconds. And if I don't have this in my cache, what I will do, execute this method. I think I will just copy this one and paste it here. So Prisma listing, and then okay, so then I can delete this one. If I don't have listing not found, and continue like this. Also, I will use the delete method. So once I delete a listing, I want also to delete this one from my cache. So it will be just an await, let's say busts, and I need first thing, maybe just the listing key ID. Here, this is the ID that I extracted from the params. If I do like this, now I will test to see if everything is okay. When I visit the main page, nothing happens in my server, it's okay. But once I click, as you see, the cache is missing. And if I return back to my database in Redis, what I will find, the first thing that I will find that I'm connected to my database, and also here I tried to make a request to my database. Okay. I can see also the data inside Redis. So if I click on this launch, as you see here, I have listing v1, 2, and 2 is the ID. If I return back, the ID is 2. Now I will go back. If I try to open this listing, it's very fast. Here I have the cache is hit. If I go to my Redis, I will see, as you see, here is another request to my server, and it features this data. Here I have just one listing. I will try it with the other one. So I will go back. Here I didn't store this listing inside my cache. So if I click the first thing, it makes some time. If I return back, it's very fast. And what's happened? I will just go to this part. I refresh. Here I have 2 records. Also, if I refresh this page, I will have that. I will see that I make another request to my server. So I think everything now works as expected. I am inside this Airbnb. I can see all my listings. Here I can see my trips. I can maybe cancel. So here I can't cancel guest reservations. So let's fix this problem. Basically, I need just to log out and log in again because we defined an expiration. My token expired. So if I go to my trips, I can cancel guest reservation. If I go to my reservations, I can also cancel for my properties. If I remove this property, it will not display inside this one. I can also create another one. I think now everything is good. The last one, maybe test creating an account. Sorry, here is the name. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here I have an error. Okay, so let's fix this problem before. So basically it's very easy here. If I return back to the register model, once I submit, I just cancel log this name, email, and password. So what I will need to do is just copy and paste as we did for the login model. And instead of, and injecting the auth, let's put inject auth service, and then I can use it here. So it will be auth register, and I will put email, password, and also the name like this. It will be just name. Then if I return back, I'm not logged in. I will click on sign up. Here I will put my name. Once I click on continue, everything is okay. So here I created an account. And if I do like this, I go, so I think now everything is good. So thank you for watching and see you the next video.